Hey there everyone, happy Tuesday. Thank you for joining me. My name is Alyssa Thomas from Penguin and Fish, where we make lovely and quirky hand embroidery kits. And I am here every weeknight at 8:30 p.m. Central Time. That's 9:30 Eastern and 6:30, 6:30 Pacific. So 8:30 Central Time. And it's a time where we can relax and craft for about an hour here in the evening. And I work on projects from beginning to end, so you can be part of the whole process along the way. So we're going to finish up one of our blocks for the Splendid Sampler 2. Here it is. Here's how far we are. We just have the little sew text to go yet, but look how cute that border turned out. I'm really happy with that. I think the colors turned out great. I'm super stoked. So we are going to probably pretty quickly finish this word sew up tonight, just the embroidery on that. And I did get my steampunk sewing machine out here, so I can share that with you again tonight too. Tomorrow we'll actually sew a little project on it. So all right, I'm gonna flip you guys around and we'll get going. All right, there's the machine right there. It's a Kenmore model 83, but you can kind of see why I'm calling it a steampunk sewing machine. It's got all these cool angles and it's this crinkle black. But I just look at the shape of this. That is just too freaking cool. So anyway, I got it out and we'll start playing with it. But first, I am going to work on this. So that was a little tidbit. You know, I forgot when it was made. I know it's the 40s. I can't remember if it was 42 or a little later in the 40s. I'm gonna have to look it up again. I had done all this research before. Oh, you know what? I bet you I wrote it down and put it right with the sewing machine. So I don't have it here, but I have it in the cabinet that I took it out of. So tomorrow I'll have more of that information because I'm pretty sure that's where I put it. All right, so let's do this sew. I'm gonna start fresh with an away knot just to get going with this again because I want to weave in the ends. All right, grabbing a piece of this. So we'll do our 2 strands tonight on this. The crinkles are usually 1943, Paula says. Okay, that sounds familiar. I think it was in the first half of the 40s. I think there is one that came. Hey, Diane, I'm in Minnesota too. There's one that has a little bit different of a light, and I think that was the model right after this one. But that one's light. Oh, I'm taking 3 out again. Let's just do the 2. That one's light has all sorts of cool angles and stuff too. So I actually found a light for one of those on eBay, and I was considering taking this lamp off of mine and putting that one on. But it needs to be rewired and everything. And it's actually a brown crinkle, not the black crinkle, which is what I have here. So, I don't know. I haven't 100% decided on that other lamp. Besides, it needs to be rewired, and I don't know how to do all that yet. I should say. So I went to the sewing machine guy today. Oop, man, I'm gonna have to get a little higher so I don't keep hitting you guys tonight. But I went to the sewing machine guy to pick up my sewing machine because my sewing machine is done. But I went there and I tried the feed dogs. So the problem is my feed dogs, I can't flip them down so they stay down, which, you know, sucks for free motion quilting. You want those feed dogs down and everything. So he fixed it, or, you know, so he says, I believe him. But then when I got there, I tested them. I just flipped the switch and they didn't go down. And he saw that and he's like, huh, those aren't going down again. And so he tried to get them to go down again, and it wouldn't work. So I left it there again. But he had the blow dryer on it to try and heat it up, and it just totally wasn't working. So it was there, it's there longer, which is fine because I wasn't really expecting it to be done yet. He had gotten it done pretty quickly. But man, he had a blow dryer on that whole bottom area to heat it up. And then he was oiling and putting something else on it, like rubbing alcohol or something to loosen it up. I think he said that. It was hard to hear. And then was just cranking on it with a screwdriver to try and just like push on it. And he could after a while, but he really had to crank on it to do it. And so it's just so stuck that it just needs work on it. Oh, Catherine, that's sad to hear. But yeah, so we'll see how it goes. Oop, caught my hoop there. All right, I'm gonna flip now to doing my loop above, just because the direction of my arc has shifted. I always try and have the loop be in the direction of the arc. So now, before my arc was going down like this, so I had my loop go down, but now it's going upwards. So I just switched. So you'll be able to tell that there's a little switch, but it won't be as noticeable, I don't think, as it like kind of doing that spider webby out thing. I think this'll work. We'll see. But yeah, so I did get the extra little parts that I needed for this Kenmore, this crinkle Kenmore from the 40s. So I got a new motor pulley. That's what they're called. I kept thinking I was trying to remember what that wheel was, and I can talk about that a little bit, but I think that it was called a motor pulley. So I got a new one of those, and I got a LED light for it, and that looks pretty cool. So I'll take that out and show you guys. Someone said online to use the Supreme slider to cover the feed dogs. So that's what I've heard too, just use a Supreme slider, and I might just try and get one of those yet. But I've also heard that if you don't get the feed dogs down, it can really, really eat it up. Catherine, you don't have to switch there, but I don't know, after doing some more research on the stem stitch, that was one of the suggestions, to kind of have your arc go with the arc of like your loop go in the direction of the arc. Because look, now it's not doing that like splayed out kind of look that it does sometimes, as much as it would if I was still having my loop underneath. And the reason for that is that I have, this middle stitch catches the loop. So it's catching the loop way up here, versus if the loop was underneath, it wouldn't catch, right? Because the loop would be down lower than where it would catch. But this way, it catches and pulls it up a little bit. So if you keep like the arc, what I mean by the loop, I mean this arc of this floss is going up and over, just like this arc is going up and over. So that's why I'm going up now, whereas when I was over here, when I started, that arc was going downward. So I had my floss go downward, 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 till right here. Then all of a sudden it was going upward, this arc. So then I made my loop go upward, and I think that seems to work. So the feed dogs actually go up and down. So they work. It works just fine. However, they don't go into that lower position where they stay down. That's the problem. So it just stays locked in place where it just goes up and down and up and down. It does not stay in the down position. So that's the deal. All right, there we go. I think I'm going to just leap over to this letter E. I think this green is going to look kind of sweet on this. But yeah, so that's the problem. And he thinks that they have just been in that place for so long that they just don't want to move. Like it's a machine, right? It's metal parts with oil and grease and stuff. So he just thinks it's locked. So he was really yanking on it hard. And so he had the blow dryer on it to heat it up. And then he was putting like oil or something on it or to try and make it loose. And then he was really kind of had a screwdriver and it was really trying to push and crank on it. And you could see after a while he was able to get it to start moving up and down, like when he cranked on it, which is more because it's like solidly frozen. So he was able to just really like use some elbow grease to get in there and move it after a while, but he was working hard. So it's almost as if I need to do that like every day for a month, you know, just really crank on it and heat it up and oil it and whatever, just so it knows, all right, you can do this. So get used to it. You know what I mean? So I don't know. He said that he would research it a little bit more and see if he can find anything else that would help loosen it up. And he has another guy that is going to come in that he can talk to. So I left it there. I said, I got another machine. Oh, that's interesting. Nolene says that Kenmores are Genomes in Australia. Yeah, there are some weird things. Like I think I'm probably wrong on this, but like singers have different names too every once in a while. Oh gosh. Like, what is it? Like, aren't whites and singers kind of the same? Or it's something else. I don't know, but there's a few companies, especially, back in the day, that do crossover. So they'll just sell it to like a different market and rename it, sort of that. So yeah, that's interesting. Or like domestic. Aren't singers and domestics? Those are the same, right? There's two that are same. Oh, Baby Locks and Brothers are made by the same company too. Oh, geez. See, like it's all, it's all a couple of the same companies, and you throw a different brand name on there. Oh, your friend has a Kenmore that's a Genome there too. Oh, and she got it from Sears. That's funny. Yeah, mine from the 70s says Sears Kenmore. Actually, this one from the 60s says Sears Kenmore right on there too. My black one here just says, oh no, it does say Sears Roebuck on the thing. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe Sears owned that for a little. I don't know. Or they got the license for it. But yeah, I think Domestic is another brand of like vintage sewing machine. I think Domestics and Singers might be the same, and I could be totally wrong on that. But I know there is a lot of crossover where some brands are the same, and sometimes they almost look exactly the same. All right, and I'm going to tuck this guy in right away. I don't have much floss to work with there. I need one more thing of floss to finish this up. We're getting there though. Almost done. But yeah, then we'll take a look at this Kenmore a little bit, and this 40s Kenmore sewing machine that I got over here today. I call it my steampunk sewing machine. And I think we'll call it a little early night tonight, but we will definitely get sewing on this machine tomorrow. We're gonna have to figure out how to thread it. I have one little piece of thread in there, but I don't have a spool on there, so we have to figure out how to thread it again because it's different. It completely runs different. Oh, hey, Carol. Well, welcome. Glad you're here. It runs completely different than the other sewing machine. My other sewing machine has a belt, and you've seen that potentially. I've taken that belt out. We've replaced it once. But it has a belt inside, and that's moving the motors and gears around, right? This is not how this sewing machine works. It uses a motor pulley, and all that is you have your motor, and it has a tiny rubber wheel connected to it, and that rubber wheel is moving the big metal wheel around, and that's all it is. That's how it works. That's all it is. Which is just kind of fascinating, I think. The motor is a little bit different too. It's one of those, oh, see, okay, so Pam, you say if it's locked up, sometimes soak it in kerosene to clean old oil and goop. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking I'm gonna have to try and do. We'll see how it works after the guy looks at it again. I've heard that kerosene. I haven't ever tried that before though. I was a little nervous to do that. You know, the funny thing is, it's totally locked up. It doesn't seem goopy or anything. Like it's not dirty. Or at least not that I can see. But yeah, it's just locked in place. So kerosene, like just like straight kerosene, like from Home Depot or something? Like, I don't know, is that you would put in a lamp? Or is there some special type of kerosene or whatever? I have heard that before, but I've just never been brave enough to go buy kerosene to give it a try. But I think that's got to be next on my list. I have no idea, Gretchen. I think I don't know, I think just old metal things get locked up somehow. Yes, kerosene is kerosene. Okay. I will walk into Home Depot, say, where's the kerosene, and see how that goes. Oh, but alcohol, okay, alcohol ruins the finish on featherweights, you think? But kerosene doesn't. Yeah, I've heard you can get unscented kerosene in small amounts used for cleaning oil. Okay, I will look for that for sure. Kerosene, okay, kerosene from Home Depot. That's gonna have to go on my to-buy list. But yeah, I've heard people, I'm in a vintage sewing machine group on Facebook. It's just fun to look at all those images that people post of them. But I've heard of people getting old machines and then even like dipping the whole thing just about, or all the mechanical bits that they can take apart and stuff into kerosene and letting it soak or whatever. So that was always interesting. I never gave it a try though. Oh, I can buy small amounts in the camping section. Oh, well, that would make sense, and this would be the time of year for that too. Oh yeah, buy the paint. Yeah, all that chemical-y type stuff, I'm sure. The oil solidifies in time. Oh, could be a bit of rust between the touching metals. Ooh, that could be too. Okay, yeah, all right. That all sounds legit, so we'll see if the guy can fix it, but I think for sure I'm not gonna bring it there again for that sort of thing, because man, it is not cheap to get a machine looked at. So I forgot about that. Ever since I started oiling it myself, I barely ever bring it in. But since I was going there anyway, I'm like, okay, let's just get these feed dogs figured out before I get brave and try the kerosene thing. So I think I will be doing that myself next time. But yeah, so he's just trying to heat it up and stuff. So I don't know. But yeah. And it's actually kind of fun. I'm having, now that I have like some backup machines, or that I got these other vintage machines that I'm just kind of interested in, I'm more excited and less scared of opening them up and trying to clean them and figure them out. You know, actually, it's not because I've gotten a couple more vintage machines. It's because we've gotten brave on my current old sewing machine, the one that's in the shop right now. And we've started oiling that, and, you know, you guys encouraged me to give that a try and stuff. And now, ever since I've done that, now, like, all the mechanical stuff just seems figure-outable, you know? So I think that might be the last time I bring that in there. We'll see. All right, last stitch. Oh my gosh, this was really, really fast. Way faster than I thought to stitch that up. So let's that's probably good. I'm kind of feeling my voice go away today. Man, as if I talked all day today. I didn't talk at all. Maybe that's the problem. But yeah, my throat just kind of feels like I might lose my voice soon. Yep, really old used vintage machines get so locked up that sometimes, people will completely soak them in kerosene. Oh, that is so interesting. Okay, so that's what I've heard, but I'm like, really? You just have a bucket of kerosene and you're putting these, but you know, you forget that these are just like mechanical pieces of metal, you know what I mean? Like, it's like any car, old car or lawnmower or anything else like that, I suppose. Huh. Yeah, and we have that 60s Kenmore that I haven't even tested, and I know doesn't work because they told me there's something off with it, so that would be kind of fun to try and figure that one out. So maybe we'll have to play with that too in the coming weeks. Attempt to open up a new machine and see what's up with it. That'd be cool. All right, you guys. There is our block. I can't believe we're done with that already. That went so fast today. I wanted to do, maybe I didn't mark the page, but I want to show you the original again here. And we can see all these blocks that I don't have done yet, right? Okay, right, coming up. There it is. All right, so here are our colors. I think they're both really cute, but I really do like that kind of orangey yellow border that we did here. I'm pretty happy with it. Yay! All right, you guys, I'm gonna set this to the side, and I'll show you some of the little bits with this sewing machine, and then tomorrow we will give it a go. Yeah, I'll have to start a new business working on sewing machines. Ooh, then maybe I can have my library of vintage sewing machines and then keep saving all the machines. I need to save them all. There's just too many pretty ones, and I just need a huge wall and space to do it in. That would be just super fun. All right, I'm gonna bring the machine over here. So I took it out of the cabinet with the help of John. So now it's just on its feet. So you can see it's got, you know, the little feet here when it's out of the cabinet. And then it has all the mechanics exposed at the bottom. Ooh, it's kind of hard to see, isn't it? Let's see if I can get it in the light a little bit more. Well, here. Just trying to get it so you guys can see a little bit easier. There. That might be a little bit better. So there it is, and it has the crinkle finish. Different brands call this finish different names, but I think Kenmore calls it a crinkle, but you can see it's like a matte. It's almost like this, like, I don't know, it's like a World War II machine or something. It's just kind of cool. But here, look, I put in, this is what I got today. Here is what the LED light bulb looks like. So how cool is that? So it looks like it has just a ton of LEDs all the way around. I brought the old light in and asked what would fit it. So here's it just screws right in, and I got the LED because this gets so hot, and the LEDs are supposed to be a lot cooler. So I'm gonna plug this guy in just so we can check it out. But yeah, so now it's a little bluer light and it's just really, really bright. But there we go. So super happy about that. Yeah, look at this though. Look at how cool this, I just love this. Forward on black and reverse on red. So as you go, so this is the stitch length. So it's on 6, so that's a really big stitch length, I think. And then as you go this way, now it's red, so now we're going reverse. So you can actually decide your stitch length in reverse and going forward, so that's kind of cool. It does use a normal needle. I think you do have to put it in a little differently. And all of this, the tension rod and everything, or the tension stuff, is on the side. So this is the part that I'm gonna have to go over again and just figure out how to thread it all again. I do have a little piece of thread in here, so I just need to leave it there so I can figure this out. But the needle goes into the side, and then we have this contraption here for the it's all side done. Here's that guy. But oops. Oh, and then the bobbin. I just popped out this side. The bobbin is side loaded here too. So it's a little definitely different than what I'm used to. So we'll have to play with it. And like I said, I have not really used this. I've tested it once for fun, but that's about it. But I'm going to show you guys one more thing with it, and then we'll play with it tomorrow. But here is what I mean with, here's that pulley drive. So this is the wheel. So this is, you know, like a normal sewing machine. This is what makes the needle go up and down, right? But then check this out. So this is the motor. Ooh, this is not quite level here. I'm gonna have to put something underneath it. But it has this motor pulley here. So if I start the motor, then this will turn, and that turning turns the wheel. So there's no what do we call that? No bands. Oh man. None of the band thing. I forget what that's called. But yeah, so the motor pulley is what the belt. There's no belt. It just moves by this. That's it, which is crazy. So I got a new one of these today. My old one had a little flat part, and the flat part comes from if this is just up against the wheel like forever and you never use it, like a vintage machine that no one's used it, it can get a little dent in and then it'll slide around a little bit. Oh, thanks you guys. Yeah, I couldn't remember the belt. But if I put the motor down like this and stick a little piece of fabric in, then it's the motor pulley's not resting on anything, so it won't get that little nick in. But yeah, I'm excited to give it a go tomorrow. The bobbin works the same way. So here's the bobbin. If I put that up, then the bobbin will go, and this is the bobbin wheel. Same thing, no belt. I don't know. It's just so cool. The mechanics of it. So I'm excited to get going on it tomorrow. But there it is. It's so fun. So, all right. Tomorrow we will give it a try. Like I said, I'm going to have to try and figure out how to put the bobbin in, put the thread in. The foot looks kind of crazy too. I'm not used to, it has this big dial here. I'm not used to all that. I just thought it looked cooler, like the coolest thing ever. There's a lot of wiring that really could get redone. One of these days I'll have to rewire the whole thing probably. It's probably not all that safe to use, but we'll see. Oh, the featherweight bobbin goes from the side too. Oh, that's cool. Joe, there are not that many videos about it. At least there weren't last time I looked it up. I don't know, when I got this like a year ago or something. So there was enough for me to figure it out, and I think that's how I got where I'm at now. So I just need to look at what I have in here already, and then I think I'll get it. So we'll do some tests, we'll figure it out, but that'll be the plan tomorrow. We will be playing with this machine. So, and I think that's it for tonight, you guys. I'm going to call it an early night. I'll flip you around and we'll take a look at this embroidery again for the evening. All right, hello. So I'm super duper psyched to work with that machine tomorrow. And, oh, you got a shock from your antique machine. Okay, yeah, it's definitely all the old wiring. That is something I'm going to have to look into for sure. So we'll see. Maybe that's something that we can figure out ourselves. That would be kind of awesome if we could do that. We have 2 electricians in the family, so maybe I can have one of them next time they're over come look at it too. Do I know the name of the little, black things that drive the wheel? It's the motor pulley is what it's called, I believe. I think that's what he called it. I was calling it the drive wheel, but I don't think that was what the real name was. I think it's a motor pulley. So you can look for that. And mine was a little thinner than my old one, the one that I bought, but I think it's still going to work just fine. So we'll see. That's going to be the plan tomorrow. See how all of it works. But all right, there's my finished block. I'm not going to trim it down yet. I'm going to wait till I'm ready to put it in the quilt, and then I will trim this down. But I'm super happy with that. That went a lot faster to finish than I thought. So maybe that stem stitch isn't so bad. It just speed right through it. That's awesome. So all right, you guys, that's it for the evening. I will start sewing on this fun machine tomorrow. We'll figure it out. It'll be neat. I'm excited. It'll be like a new working fun machine that I can have around with a project on it. Yeah, and so I'll get this up on YouTube at Penguin and Fish Movies, and it'll also be here on the Penguin and Fish page on Facebook. And I'll be here tomorrow, so we'll check it out at 8:30 p.m. tomorrow. That's 9:30 Eastern and 6:30 Pacific. That's when we will be playing with the new machine. So awesome, you guys. Have a great evening. Good night.